Beginning October 1st, the minimum wage in Ontario will increase 40 cents from $17.20 an hour to $17.60. Well, joining us now live to talk more about this is Tom Cooper, the director of the Hamilton Roundtable for Poverty Reduction. Tom, a 40-cent increase works out to roughly $800 a year before taxes for someone who's working 40 hours a week. Is that enough for people who live in large urban centers like the GTHA?
It has. It's progress, but it's still far from enough for workers in Hamilton, Halton, Niagara, and right across Ontario. We've been urging employers to get behind the idea of a living wage. And a living wage is based on the actual costs workers have to bear in terms of housing, food, transportation, and other necessities in their life. We know housing prices, particularly rents, foods, have been skyrocketing in recent years. And unfortunately, the minimum wage just isn't cutting it.
So what would a living wage be for Hamilton?
In Hamilton right now, a living wage is $21.30. We're going to be recalculating that wage in early November and releasing a new living wage. I can imagine it'll go up from there, but we've seen the cost of housing particularly increase far beyond the cost of living. And so workers are forced to cobble together several part-time jobs often, and they're still not able to make ends meet. They're making impossible choices about whether to pay the rent, buy groceries, or keep the utilities on. So it's
tough.
a tremendous balancing act.
Now, the provincial government argues that it itself is in a balancing act. It needs to support workers while keeping Ontario competitive in the face of U.S. tariffs. Very quickly, how do you think it's doing?
Well, certainly an increase in the minimum wage is always important, but it really has to reflect what workers need to live. And unfortunately, Ontario's living wage is a much better indicator of what we need to be doing in terms of ensuring workers can not only cover their basic necessities, but also thrive in society.
All right. Thank you so much, Tom. Tom Cooper is the director of the Hamilton Roundtable for Poverty Reduction. Thank you again.
Thanks, Tess.